So today, not only am I going to be making a sweet treat, I've got a sweet deal especially for you. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at KMOUNTAIN and welcome back to the homestead. Now I am super excited about the sweet deal that I have coming up for you. But first, I'm going to be making a sweet treat that we've both kind of been craving. Now here on the homestead, I make almost all of the food that we eat completely from scratch. And that includes all the treats. And, you know, sometimes I get busy and I don't bake treats as fast as they get consumed in this household, if you know what I mean. Now, I thought it would be fun to make some glazed donuts for this rainy day, that we could have donuts and coffee to make this rainy day just a bit more sweet. Now, I'm going to be using a recipe from my friend Kara at Grains in Small Places, and I'm going to put that down in the description box below. Be sure to check out her recipe. Now, today I'm using a mixture of kamut and hard white wheat. Now my wheat is milled, and my harvest grain mill always does a beautiful job creating nice fine flour that is going to make perfect donuts. Now we're going to go ahead and add a few more dry ingredients. A little bit of baking soda and a little bit of salt. Alright, so I'm just going to incorporate these dry ingredients just a little bit. Now for today's video, I'm going to be using my Bosch Universal Plus Mixer, and I love the mixer. And since we're going to be doing a dough, I've got my bread hook in here and it's all set to go. Now I've already measured my milk and my water, and I'm going to go ahead and add some sugar. And I'm going to add 1 egg. So now that that's mixed, we're going to go ahead and add our flour. And my favorite part about my Bosch Universal Plus Mixer is the cover. And whenever I'm doing something like flour, I always use the cover, because this is where we're going to make a mess. Now we're going to do just a short autolaze. We're going to let this set and let that fresh ground flour absorb that liquid so it's ready for the yeast. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Now my autolaze is finished, so I'm going to pull up my towel and I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast. Now I'm just going to do a quick mix to incorporate the yeast. Now that that's in, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some softened butter. Now I did soften this in the microwave because it's so cool in here. We're going to do just about a tablespoon at a time to mix it in. Now we're going to go ahead and start the kneading process. Now it's not going to take too long. We're going to be looking for a stretchy dough. Now Kara likes to do her doughs a little bit wet, so I expect this to be a little bit wet. And it is definitely going to be tacky, which it says in the recipe. So we're going to let this knead and we'll be right back. Now while this is kneading, I wanted to jump in here and kind of point this out to you. I do have the splash guard on my machine, and that's a small batch of dough, so I don't really expect the dough to try to come out of the bowl. But one thing when you're kneading is you want to keep this cover off, and that's because this can trap heat inside the bowl. It can have a negative effect on your yeast spreads. So while this is great for keeping all that loose flour contained, when we're kneading it, we want to take it off. Now I've been kneading about 10 minutes, and this dough is very tacky, which is what Kara says will be in her recipe, so that we're expecting. I am going to oil my hands a little bit. Now this dough is nice and soft, and it feels really, really nice. Now I have a bowl here that I also oiled. And we're going to put this dough in it, we're going to cover it, and we're going to let it rise. And in just a second, I'm going to reveal to you what my sweet deal, especially for you, is. So keep watching. Now my dough is all covered. Now I am going to wrap this up, and I'm actually going to put it on a heating pad because it's pretty cool in here today because I want this to rise. Now we're going to let this rise about 1 to 2 hours. Now here it is. Here's the sweet deal for you. Now starting today, November 1st, you can enter in to a free giveaway of a Bosch Universal Plus Mixer just like mine. Ah! I am super excited to be able to offer you this giveaway in partnership with Nutrimill. Now this giveaway is only going to last for 2 weeks. So from November 1st to November 14th, 2025, you can enter in the giveaway. Now of course, I would love you to subscribe to my channel, Kowalski Mountain. Hit that button. Now I want you to go ahead and tell me down in the comments below your favorite thing to bake and what you can't wait to bake in this Bosch Universal Plus Mixer. Now to enter the giveaway, you must go to my blog, kowalskimountain.com/giveaway, and enter in your information to be put into this free drawing. Now on November 14th at midnight, the drawing will close, and I will draw the winner on November 15th. Now from there, the winner, you only have until close of business on Monday, November 17th to claim your prize, or I will have to draw an alternate winner. Now, if you've been around my channel at all, you know how much I love my Bosch Universal Plus Mixer, and I am thrilled that a member of the Kowalski Mountain family is going to win this beautiful mixer. Now, whether or not you need a mixer for yourself, or if this would make the perfect gift for the baker in your family, go down below and get that link, kowalskimountain.com/giveaway, to enter the giveaway for this beautiful Bosch Universal Plus Mixer. Now keep watching. We're going to come back after these donuts rise, and we're going to make the donuts. Sorry, cat's making noise. All right, husband's making noise. All right, the dough should be risen. I haven't peeked, but it's been rising for 2 hours, so it should be done. Let's take a look at it. Oh, perfect. Looks lovely. Look at that gorgeous dough. Okay, so I did heat that on a heating pad, and I did put a trivet on the heating pad because I want the warmth of the air to help the dough rise. I don't want it to cook it on the bottom. Now I've prepared a tray with parchment paper to let the donuts raise on, and that also will have the heating pad underneath of it. Now I've oiled my hands, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on here. And I'm also going to oil my rolling pin. This is going to make a lot of donuts. Now I'm just going to roll this out. Now this mat is my Nutrimill silicone dough mat, and this thing is amazing. Now I live here in an RV, so this is my sink area. I have my sink covers on. That gives me some extra counter space. And this mat is perfect because the mat doesn't move around, and it also keeps, if you've ever lived in an RV before with sink covers, there's like crevices, and so flour and food and all kinds of gunk can get down in those crevices, and it's messy. And this mat helps take care of that. Now, while cooking in an RV can have its challenges, it's not impossible. We still have homemade food right here in our RV kitchen. We just have to work a little bit harder to make it happen. Now, I have just a biscuit cutter. And rather than cut a hole in the donut, I'm just going to make a hole in it. And those are going to go on my tray to rise. Now, this dough mat is not cut resistant. I'm being careful with this. Now, Philip has already been in here once looking for the donuts. These things take time. Now for the rest of this dough, we're going to mash it back together, roll it out again, and make a few more donuts. Now I do have a little bit of dough left, and I'm going to make them into donut holes. Just because that's going to be easy. So I got 19 donuts and about 13 donut holes, so a baker's dozen. Now those are going to rise, and then we're going to fry them up, and we're going to enjoy them. Now, I also need to make the glaze, which we're going to do next. Now I'm going to make the glaze, and this is a simple glaze. It uses 2 cups of powdered sugar, and a pinch of salt. It has some vanilla extract in it. And it has some milk in it. Now I'm going to skim this cream off real quick. Now this milk, I accidentally froze it, so the cream looks a little clumpy, but my coffee won't mind. Stir it in. Now we're just going to add a few tablespoons of milk. Now basically you make this as to your likings. You want it to be thin enough, like right now it's too clumpy, it's way too thick. We want it to be thin enough to coat the donuts. And we can't mess this up. If we get it too thin, we add more powdered sugar. If we get it too thick, we add more milk. All right, I think this is really nice. Runs off the spoon, but it still coats the fork. You can see that. So I think this will be perfect. Now it's going to take a little while to heat up the oil, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Now you can use whatever kind of oil you want. I am using lard because that is a sustainable form of oil that we grow here on the farm. Now I've set up a cooling station. Oops. So this is a tray, and I've lined it with a paper towel, and then I have a cooling rack on it. So as the donuts come out of the oil, they're going to go on this rack so they can drain, and then after they've cooled just a bit, we're going to toss them in that sugar and coat them with the glazing. You can see that my donuts are rising. I wanted them to rise more, but I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to go ahead and start cooking them. Now I'm sorry, I know that fan is loud, but I really need to be running it right now since I'm frying here. Now my oil is almost up to temp. $350. We're there. Now I'm not going to start with the prettiest donut. I'm going to start with an uglier donut and practice first because I haven't done this in a while. Now they only have to do 1 to 3 minutes per side. Now we're going to start the glazing. Now this is pretty simple. We're just going to dip it here in the glaze till it's completely coated, and then we're going to take it out. I'm going to use a knife to do that. So we're dipping. Now I have a few more to cook, which I'm going to cook, and you're supposed to let this dry. I love the rich flavors of the fresh ground flour. You know, normally when you eat a glazed donut, you really only taste sugar. But in this donut, I can actually taste the richness of the grain. These are awesome. They were definitely worth waiting all day for. Well, friends, thank you so much for baking with me today. These donuts are amazing. Thank you to Kara for another amazing recipe. As always, you knocked it out of the park. Now you can get that recipe down below in the description box. And don't forget, be sure to subscribe and to comment on what you can't wait to make in your new Bosch Universal Plus Mixer. Put that down in the comments and then rush over to that entry form at KowalskiMountain.com/giveaway so you can register for this giveaway. Now remember, you have until November 14th at midnight to sign up, and the drawing is on November 15th. As always, I really appreciate you watching, especially to the very end. We'll see you next time. Bye!